Jason Williams here live. I am super late, but I apologize. I love you guys, and I appreciate some of the well wishes that I received from you guys on the messaging internal messaging app on our platform. For those of you who have not joined Midi Innovation, make sure to join Midi Innovation. Search it on your Play Store, your Apple Store, download it and join into our free networking community. It's going to allow you to network with people from all across the entertainment industry worldwide. So again, I appreciate each and every one of you sending out your messages, for those of you who did and those of you who just had me in your thoughts. So unfortunately, we missed today's live stream at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard that we normally do, due to a medical emergency with my father, and we had to go do some emergency heart procedures, but everything turned out well. And as you can see, I am in Georgia at the moment, and not even in my home office. I'm still in the room, just getting back and getting set up to get everything done with you guys today. So, what are we going to cover today? Let's jump right to the meat and the potatoes here, because some of you have been messaging and asking questions, waiting for this final four series video to conclude the Mad Money March series. So, what you're going to get in today's video, I'm going to walk you guys from beginning to end and making sure that you got everything set up. We've talked about how to ensure that you're getting your royalties, understanding your publishing, understanding the type of accounts you need to create and set up. What we need to do now, though, is make sure that everyone fully understands how to set up the actual ground floor pieces. Now, you all have an understanding and what it takes now, but what we need to make sure is that we have the glue that's going to hold everything together. And that's what this video is going to be all about. So if I had to say the most important video, it's going to be this final video. This is going to be the one that kind of puts the bow around the present and ties it all into a tight knot to make sure that you get all of the protections that you should be getting. For those of you who already have a business, I would still encourage you to follow through and check this out. Some of it will not pertain to you, but you might actually get a few nuggets that you might have missed. All right. So I want to make sure that you guys do that and do join us and follow through. For those of you who don't have a formal business set up, or maybe have some of the business set up, kind of not really sure where to go, and maybe still kind of lagging on some of the professional aspects of what it takes to fully operate under the umbrella of a business and tax protection, things of that nature, this video is for you. For those of you who are just interested in getting new into the game, trying to get started, you're going to be leveraging our networking platform to get business opportunities. You got to have this back end set up, because this is going to be what differentiates you from a professional to a novice, from a professional to a hobbyist. Okay. This video is all about that. So without further ado, I'm going to do a screen share. Let's go ahead and dive into today's video. And I'm going to actually just share my desktop with you guys here. As you guys see my crazy calendar, let me go ahead and close that. So here we are. We're going to start off with the very basics, okay? The very simplest basic thing that I could tell you guys to do is, making sure that you have your business portion set up, all right? What do I mean by having your business portion set up? Some of you guys are going to go out and create businesses, get your LLC or your corporation, your C Corp, whatever it is that you file. But you did it and you don't even have like a business email, you don't have the website domain verified yet. So what I always tell everybody to do, especially if you're brand new, starting this whole process off, go in here, all right? And what you're going to want to go ahead and do is type in, go to GoDaddy.com, really easy. And I like telling everybody GoDaddy because here you can do your website, you can do your email, and you can verify your business. And they even have a logo designer that's free on here as well. So, you kind of really kind of get the meat and the potatoes of how to set everything up and to make sure that everything is available. So, for example, I used myhitlabel.com. That's going to be my new business that I want to create. But before I do that, I need to make sure that I can even get the website, right? So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead, hit search, pull up the website. Now I'm streaming from my phone because I don't connect my laptop or any of my devices to public connection networks. So it's going to be a little bit slow as things load up here. So bear with me here. But here you guys see we have myhitlabel.com. It is available. And then you have the .org, .net, co, and info. Now, when you're setting yourself up, if you can afford to do everything, do the make it yours version and get everything. That way, nobody can make a derivative website using your likeness. It just kind of helps streamlines everything, make sure everything's easy and simple. It doesn't really cost that much to keep these domains, but it's one of those things. A surety is clarity, clarity is a surety. So if you could do everything, get this. If not, and you're under a budget, go ahead, just make it yours. So when we go ahead and we add that to the cart, we're going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to move my face here to the middle of the screen. I don't normally like to do that, but we're going to do that in this particular case, an example. And I'm going to go to my cart. You're going to notice that they're going to try to give you a multiple year subscription right out the gate. It is cheaper if you buy more up front. But again, I'm going to treat this as if everybody is still kind of novice, new, trying to figure this whole thing out, and doesn't have a really big budget. So what I would tell everybody to do is 1 year. All right. Now there's going to be something that you get that's a perk. If you do 1 year, all right, and you register a website with Google, it's going to be very hard for you to get first page ranking, regardless of how good your SEO is, because Google gives like preference to those who are going to be doing long kind of long term subscriptions with a domain, right? So essentially, if you say, "Hey, I'm going to buy a domain for 3 years," Google's going to look at it and go, "Hey, like this person is serious. They're going to be in business for at least 3 years. It's going to be worth our programming efforts and time to sync and give you preferential, treatment." If you have somebody who's 1 year, the 3 year website's going to get priority over the 1 year. So just a kind of quick tip. It does open up and start at about 2 years. So I would tell everybody at least do 2 years if you can afford it. If you can only afford 1 year, just do the 1 year. It is what it is. But if you could do the 2 years, okay, that's kind of where you want to start at. If you can afford the 3 years, bingo, perfect. 3 years, no more than that. All right. When you do that, they're going to go ahead and offer you a full domain protection. If you have not created your business yet, you're going to want to do this because if you're typing in your personal information, when people search your Google domain, they're going to pull up all your personal information, which is usually going to be the information connected to the banking card, credit card, account process, whatever it is that you're entering. All right, it's going to be what people are going to see in the public search. So in this particular case, you want to use the full domain protection. It's going to charge you a little bit extra, but it's worth it if you want to keep your privacy. Now, if you've already created, you verified your business, you're not going to check out yet. You're going to finish creating everything else. The very next step you're going to do is find your local USPS, not United, or say I said that wrong. UPS. Excuse me, guys. Let me correct myself. You want to find your nearest UPS, not USPS. You don't want to use the postal service PO box. Usually they're going to be a little bit cheaper. The problem is you cannot receive like packages there because there's no one there to sign for it. But if you use a UPS store location, it's a physical address, and you can receive packages. People can sign for those packages, and it's considered a physical address. So in some websites where they say they won't use PO box, you can put unit, your box number, and then you can still receive that mail, which is going to be very, very important for you doing business forward. That will become your business information that you associate to all of your business accounts. So that way, when people do a public record search or general inquiry on your business, everything shows up as a business, not a personal and business. And then people are like, is this a real business? Is it legitimate? Whatever. That's how you fix that. So after you verify that you can get the website and the domain, all right, then you decide how much you're going to spend and are able to spend on getting that and locking it in. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you get your website. And at that point, you know that you should be able to get the name. So now you can actually file your paperwork because no one's operating a domain that's in that business name, which means you're probably pretty safe to say that there's not another business using that myhitlabel.com, or my hit label name in your city, state, or in the US at the moment. So you're going to go ahead, use that. You're going to go to your whether it's your state office or if you go to LegalZoom, like I mentioned to you guys before in some of the previous videos, create your business with my hit label. Now that you've got your business filed, now that you've claimed the name with the state that you're under, now you're going to go ahead purchase your domain. And in this process, you're going to also add on the additional packages where you get the website developer. It usually comes with this as part of the process. They're going to upsell you because obviously, if you get a domain, you're going to need a website. So get the website developer. It's so simple. Everybody and anybody can do it. Then what you're going to do is when you do that, they're going to give you 1 year free of a business email. That's going to be the email you have to keep open. There's going to be certain accounts in this process that you're going to do that if you don't have a business email, you're not going to be able to file and complete the paperwork. They will not take a Gmail unless it's a business Gmail with your businessname.com. Unless it says that at the end, they ain't going to take it. So spend the money, get the domain. Everything's all in one umbrella with GoDaddy, and you'll be able to manage, update, take transactions, payments, everything from your website, which is associated to your business with the state and the federal government. So now you've kind of got your foundation laid, right? That's your bricks and your cement. Now you got to start building the infrastructure or the internal portions, right? The structure. So now that we understand how to verify our business a free way, and then how to, or where to go, which is LegalZoom, to file the official business work. Once we file and pay that or start that process, that's going to be when we buy the domain. For some people, if you're in a financial bind, which one do you do first? Buy the domain first. So that way you can lock in the domain, and then go to LegalZoom and set up a 3 payment or 4 payment or 5 payment or 6 payment, whatever their options are. I know they have multiple payment options. And then you select the payment option that best fits you and start the process. So that way you can lock everything in with your state. But, you don't want to wait and, do one, but not the other. You kind of want to do them simultaneously. So that way, everything is kind of like a chain. It's all locked in, right? Like a little chain. You beat them all together. You want to beat all this together so that everything is legitimate and secured. Once you filed everything and you've gone through getting LegalZoom, your paperwork, or doing it yourself, I highly recommend LegalZoom, but doing it yourself. Again, I don't get paid for these recommendations. This is what we do and things that we've done in the past that have worked extremely well for us. So I'm not going to tell you guys to do something I don't use and or my companies and or business partners use. So LegalZoom, lock in your business, get all your registration. It's going to cost you more. It's going to cost you some money, but it's done right the first time. And you're going to get all the official documents that you need to be able to operate correctly, which is what you don't get if you do it yourself. You have to know where to go to get those documents and then complete them and fill them out. And or you would be technically in violation of your charter and you can lose your status with your state. So sometimes you get what you pay for. In this case, you're going to get what you pay for. So get your stuff with LegalZoom, lock everything in with GoDaddy. Now you've got the back end set up. Once you've filed that, what you're going to want to do is I'm going to move my face over here, guys, and slide me up. What you're going to want to do now, I'm going to actually shrink my face. There we go. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go to your state. In my case, it's Ohio. So we're going to go to Ohio. You're at the home page, right? And then you're going to go to the business tab. When you click the business tab, it's going to give you a ton of different business options. And once you've got those business options, now you're going to be able to really kind of figure out what you want to do, right? So do we want to file a file online? Do we want to search a business? Do we want to do forms and fees? Do we need to create an account, right? Things of that nature. You're going to want to create an account. Okay. That's very, very important. You're going to want to create an account. Let me say that again. You're going to want to create an account. Why? Because if you don't, LegalZoom is going to ask you if you want to register agent. They're going to charge you a few $100 a month or a year to do this or whatever it is. I don't know what their price is, but it's way past what you should pay. So you can be your own registered agent. All it is a registered agent is just someone that the state is going to contact if there's a problem with your documentation or your standing. They're going to reach out to you. LegalZoom, essentially, if you pay them a fee, will interact with your state and get all the alerts of when the filings are due, things of that nature, and then they will tell you to help you keep from missing those filing dates. But it's one of those things. It's really simple for most people in their businesses. It's very, very simple. The filing dates are very clear. You could, again, search your information online, and you can always call your state office, and they'll be more than happy to help you. So I don't recommend paying for that fee. But again, one of those things, you get what you pay for. And if you're not very organized and this is your first go around, might want to do it at least 1 year just to make sure you got everything set up, and just so that you can get all those notices, and you're going to save them on your Google Calendar and put on repeat forever. So that way you don't miss those dates and those deadlines, most importantly. So that's how you're going to do it. Now, you could come in and hit business search, and then it's going to give you this little verify you're a human. At least it does in Ohio. And then it's got all this information that you have here, okay, for them to be able to contact you, and then or you to be able to contact them. So what you're going to do is once you verify and it does all this. Now I have an account, so it's already like pre-filling all this information out for me. But in your case, you're gonna have to go like a little check, and then once you've got it set up or you clear it, it'll recognize your web browser. So you're going to come in, you're going to do your business name. All right. Now, in my case, I'm just going to look up my business so that way you guys can see what it's going to look like here. All right. Now, it's very important that however you fill out your business paperwork with LegalZoom, when they file it or you fill it and file it in, is what you type here. If it's a derivative or it's off, if you have an incorporation, but you took off the incorporation, you just put the lower bill company, it will not find your business. It's very, very specific. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to do all. When you hit the search button, you're going to pull up and see everything is filing, it's up to date. It's a for-profit business, and now it's in active and good standing in green. There's no problems. You could click to see details. You see the entity ID number. All this is public information. And this is going to be what people do when they fact check your business. So now you understand that everybody's legit and everything's there. This is going to be how you do everything. Now you can come in here and do this. And then again, you can also come in and create an account to be able to get set up and get going. And then, like I said, this is how you're going to go ahead and do everything: your business name, entity name, number search, incorporation. These are all different ways to search people. You can even search the trademarks and registration with the state. And that's what you're going to need to do. Now, once you get your money up, I'm going to give you guys a little ping, little coin drop here. Once you get your money up, and or if you got enough money, make sure to trademark your company's name so that way no one else can use your likeness without being an infringement of your business and or essentially being suable. All right. It just protects you in the long run. The last thing you want to do is take the cheap route. Then you mess around and go, okay, well, I saved some money, granted. But now that you saved some money, you messed around. Somebody else is using your name. You're using your name, and you have no legal entitlement to the name. And if they trademark it before you do, then they technically own the name. Now you have to rebrand your whole entire business 10 years later. As you can see, that could be a problem, especially if you've dropped a couple hit records, you're working with some people, everybody knows who you are, and now they're trying to find your business, and you got to redo your whole entire business, refile everything with the state, dissolve your paperwork. Excuse me, guys, I get the hiccups, but refile all your paperwork to get all this stuff going. So again, little tidbit: once you got everything registered with the state and the city, and the county and the federal government, all that's going to happen with LegalZoom, by the way. And you've got your domain and your website and your email all set up. The very next expense you're going to want to make sure you do is going to be the trademark. If you don't do it all at once, again, all at once is the best way to do it to ensure there's no issue. You want to go ahead and trademark it. Now, if you've got the domain and you're able to register the state name, your business as a state name, you should be able to trademark your name as well. But obviously, if there's an issue with a trademark, things of that nature, you'll be notified, and then you may have to do a derivative. The good thing is you can have a business that'll say, right, the lower bill company incorporated, but maybe someone has already trademarked that name before I got to use it in this case. Not the case for us, but let's just say that's the case. You can now, because you already have a business registered with the federal government, you just can't operate with the same name because you could be an infringement. So what you're going to do is say we're the lower bill co, not company Inc. And by doing that, you've created a derivative business name. And in your state, all you have to do is just file what's called a DBA license, which you can also do through LegalZoom. It's a little bit of change, not very expensive. And that DBA will allow you to do business as, for those of you who are not aware. So that's the workaround around that. All right. So what I've showed you guys is kind of really like hidden gems right now. And for some of you who have businesses that are created, you're probably learning something right now. If you haven't been well diversified in the aspect of corporate business, right? Not just running a business and not just doing business, because there's a big, big difference. So, now that you've got all your paperwork stuff situated, created, set up, and all that, let's talk about the the way to do your documentation. So there's a lot of ways to do documentation. You can do Adobe Sign. You can do I don't even know all the other signature platforms. There's a ton of them. All right. This is what we use. So I'm going to recommend you. Again, I don't get paid for this, nor does my company. So you choose who you want. But if you run into issues, just remember I told you this one. All right. Use DocuSign. DocuSign is kind of like PayPal and Square, maybe even more so PayPal. People just know who they are because they've been in the business, they've been in the game, they're well recognized, internationally renowned in the community of what it is that they do. So people will understand when they get a DocuSign document from you, it's an official signature document. It's very easy to do. People can do it without actually paying for an account. It's 100% free for you to set up. And more importantly, you get so many contracts that you can use or sign that are free every month, if you will, for the life of your account until you start to use a certain amount. And then once you start doing that, you're obviously in the process of making money, or you should be making a little money. Then you're just going to buy the subscription that works for you. It's always cheaper to do a year up front. But again, if you don't have a year up front money, going month to month and paying a little extra, if you will, it's going to be worth it. So you just got to do what you got to do. But you're going to want DocuSign. Why do I say DocuSign? Because every document that you sign, all right, from the moment you create this account, will be saved in your account, which means you no longer have to do paper retention. You no longer have to find a way for file management or saving it on your computer, or worried if your hard drive crashes, computer gets, lost or water damage, whatever, and you lose all your files. Along with that, you lose all your contracts, right? So, and if you do Adobe, you have to pay for a subscription. If you do some of these other programs, you're going to have to pay for a subscription. This one you can do for free for a limited kind of use feature, and then you would have to pay for a subscription. So I recommend DocuSign. It works really good. You can load in a business logo as your stamp for all of your official documents, and then that allows you to essentially do what we do on our hard papers, where we have a company seal stamp. Well, you get a digital seal stamp that's trademarked when you filed your trademark registration. So, people, when they get those documents from you, they know they're legitimate documents. And then it just allows you to do numerous signings. There's all kinds of different stuff that you could do. If you're not familiar with DocuSign, definitely get familiar with it. And I would recommend using it. Again, I'm not going to go over the pricing because depending on the time that you watch this video, the pricing may be different. So you guys are going to see me cover a lot of these points, but not go into deep detail because I want to make sure that the video is somewhat relevant, regardless of the time of you viewing this video. So let's kind of move on. We've talked about the state document. We talked about how to cheap file search for your name and your availability. We talked about the domain. We talked about your email. We talked about the website. We've talked about how to do a DBA if you find out that, oh my God, I created and spent all this money. I got a business, but someone trademarked the name first and I didn't know that. Well, if you do a trademark, you got to pay for a trademark search. So again, this is why I'm telling you guys to do it in the order that I told you earlier in the video. Trying to help you save some money, y'all. Trying to help y'all save some money and make sure your stuff is legit. All right. So now that you got that, you now have a way to file, control, and organize all of your signaturized documents. Very, very important. I will tell you, it's definitely, once you get moving and you get using this, you're definitely going to want DocuSign, because if you're doing, let's say, a beat producer and you're making beats, or maybe you're a script writer and you want to lease out a script for someone to do a limited run on a show or whatever, right? You're going to need a contract. And you're going to probably need to do non-disclosure, non-compete agreement contracts. All right. And you're gonna have to do that with every person who's touching the project. So you can see how all of a sudden something as simple as just even a beat, right? I'm gonna do a lease agreement with you, and then I need to do some kind of payment transaction with you. Now I'm gonna show you payment transactions next, but you're gonna need a beat lease agreement or purchase agreement with the details of what that is that you're giving them, and the ability to have the clearances for it, and how to file you in their paperwork to in order to ensure that you still get the credits that you want. This is all stuff you're going to need in an agreement between the two people or the two parties or the entities or the companies or whatever. So you're going to need somewhere to be able to maintain those documents. So that way if there's a legal dispute, you have hard documents to go back on and use, and even realize that maybe you messed up something and you should have put something in there. Well, now you can update your contract so you don't get screwed the next time. All right. So it's just really, really important that you guys are really following me here. I promise you, this is what we've used and or do and or have partners that do or teach people to do every day. We have people who pay us to help them build everything from scratch in our marketing agency. So it's just a lot of stuff that we do as a corporation. We have more than just one facet of income. But let's not get off track. Let's stay on track and let's talk about now transactioning from actually doing the contracts and having your business set up. How do we take payment? Because you can use PayPal, but let me get you guys with something here. So if you got PayPal or some of these other transaction companies, it's really important, first off, if you're new and you're doing transactions in business, to have a company that people recognize. Nobody wants to do a credit card transaction with floppy flop digital, you know, transaction company. Like who the hell are they? You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving them my credit card information. And I'm sure some of you have probably had those feelings before on some of the websites that you go because they're trying to do different that maybe they got a promo or they're using a company and it no, just use somebody who's well known until you get established. Once you get established and you've got a presence and your BBB profile, your Chamber of Commerce profile, people can research you all over the place to know that you're legit. It's really important to make sure that that best foot is forward and that you're as transparent and open as possible. But here's the drawback, and this is why I tell everybody start with Square. If you use PayPal, PayPal is going to limit your transactions per month, which means you can sell, let's just say, $1,000 in sales for whatever it is you're doing. But because you're new to their platform and you haven't built up a transactional history with them yet, they're going to only give you maybe like $200-300. And then they're going to hold the rest. And that's something like 60 days or 45 days. Word. Yeah, they're gonna hold your money. So what that means is you be, you be the richest, poorest man in Babylon, if you will. So make sure that you use Square to start yourself off with. You're not gonna hit that same hiccup. Now, Square does have limitations. They're a little bit higher though than PayPal when you first start off with. They work the same way as PayPal. I'm not sure what their transaction rate is currently versus PayPal's, but tit for tat. It just is what it is. So I do like Square's layout a little bit better than PayPal, but both of them will allow you to do the same thing. So that I definitely recommend you to do Square. Now, if you're want to do PayPal because you're just more familiar with PayPal, maybe you already have a PayPal account, so you want to make it a dedicated business account, not a problem. You can do that and just use PayPal. Just know that once you start doing transactions, PayPal is going to start blocking your money, and then you're going to have to call in or submit a request for them to bump it up. And they may or they may not do it, and it's a lot of stuff you're going to have to kind of jump through with hoops. So that's another company to do and to kind of work with. There's other providers that are out there. Feel free to use whoever you choose to use. Again, we don't get paid or get any money by advertising or promoting these companies. These are just options that we know that work. And yet again, we've either currently used, or have other companies that hire us to do this work for them set up with, so we know it works. So that's that kind of transactional process that we definitely recommend everybody to go ahead and do. So now that we've got our ability to take business transactions, our ability to do contracts, we've registered and set up everything, we've trademarked everything, we've got the domain, we got the website, we got the email. You guys are seeing what I'm talking right now, right? We're talking about that big seven. All right. So now that you've got that, let's talk about what we need for the actual business of music. I'm going to close some of these tabs here just so everybody can see my tab. Back sign. All right. So now let's go ahead and talk about BMI. I've covered BMI and a little bit of detail, but what you're going to want to do is choose to do one of two things. If you are not going to work with a lot of people and you're not collecting money for people, you're just collecting money for yourself, do not create a publishing company with BMI. You don't need it. Okay. You can simply, when you file for the creator side, when it gives you the option of, your writer portion and your publishing portion or performing arts portion, you're just going to put 200 instead of 100 there. And that'll give you the 100 that you would have got for the publishing company. And it'll give you the 100 for the songwriter and publisher, if you will. So, it's going to give you songwriter and publishing. They both are going to combine to 200, but independently, they both make 100. So it's a 50-50 split between those two when it comes time for royalties, payouts, distribution, things of that nature. So just put 200 on the, writer portion, and you'll get 200% still, because it's only you that you're collecting for. So you can do that. Now, if you are, someone who you've got the plug, you got access to get people's music sold. Maybe you're, a hit digital distributor already, or you got a little audience and you're making money selling other people's stuff. Then you're gonna want to go ahead and spend the publishing money. It's a little over $100, 130, 120 to 100, somewhere between 150 or down for a publishing company registration with BMI. I will give you the heads up. They're slow. All right. So yeah, like that. Long pause, slow. But value paperwork, and once they get to you and they get you registered, you'll get your publishing company ID information, and you'll be able to start filling your information out, and you're good to go. But if you don't need a publishing company, keep your extra 100 and some odd bucks, apply that towards your, trademark, apply that towards, whatever it is that you need to do, a campaign ad to promote yourself, whatever. I don't know, apply it somewhere else where your money can work for you and help you make money, or at least create traffic for you that can create money. So help your money make money, make money is all I'm trying to say. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to create a creators account. If you got, where you're in the business of music and you're a music user, those are going to be like radio stations, stuff like that. Then you're going to need to pay for a specific type of license. It varies on the type of licensing that you're going to need and the fees. So I'm not going to get into that. Most of you guys are not going to be radio broadcasting companies or starting broadcasting companies. Most of you are going to be on the creator publisher side. So that's going to be the side that you're going to want to go ahead and do. When you click that and do that, you're going to go ahead and join BMI today if you haven't already created one. I don't know the exact steps for ASCAP, but it's going to be pretty much the same thing. It's just going to look different, have different names because it's ASCAP, not BMI. All right. But once you go ahead and you join the creators account, again, my web is a little bit slow because I'm using my phone and I'm streaming this live stream on my phone for my phone's internet. So just give me a moment here as it catches up. There it is. So what you're going to want to do is choose join as a publisher, join as a songwriter. Now you can do both, but publisher is going to cost you money. Songwriter, composer, performer is free. Okay. So if you don't want to pay anything, you're going to go ahead and do this. Another thing to note is this little special note down here where they tell you it's a 5-year agreement and a 2-year agreement. So when you do this, you're going to be set up for 2 years to 5 years with this company. So just do your research, find out which one you want to work with or use. They're both going to do the same thing. You have to have one of the two if you're going to be doing business in the United States. And then you're going to need some other stuff, which I'm going to show you next, if you're going to be working across the pond. And I would highly encourage you, if you're in the entertainment business, to set this next one up, because 9 times out of 10, if you do something here, your artist may want to perform it somewhere else, or it may get picked up somewhere else, or distributed somewhere else, played somewhere else. You want to make sure you're getting all your money. And you ain't going to get it if you just got BMI and ASCAP. All right. Bing. All right. I'm gonna have to add a bing on the video. Anyway, bing. So that's your little message. All right. So now that you've got that set up, you're gonna go ahead, fill in your information. Make sure you got all your, read this little message. Make sure you got your email again. This is why you need your business email. Make sure that you got your credit card or bank card or debit card set up. A cool thing that a lot of people don't realize that they can do, which will help them do it for low cost or free, is when you set up Square, all right, it's a virtual bank. So it gives you a virtual bank card, so on, so on. You can use this. Now, you will need an actual business um, routing and transaction number to actually use um, the payment system with BMI, all right, or ASCAP or Song Trust or anybody that we're going to talk about here in a moment. Okay. Now, there's a cap. What you can do. All right. If you're going to get all the money written in a check to your name and not your business name, is you could create a secondary checking account and then use that. It cannot be a savings account. They don't do money in the savings account. So it's got to be checking. All right. And you could create a checking account for some of you guys, you may be veterans or something like that, where you don't have to pay additional fees for an extra checking account. Or if you got enough money to start off your business and put it in there to keep it from getting fees, then, just another way to do it. If not, you're going to go ahead and do BMI almost towards the end of this whole process because you're going to need to get all your documents from the state and the government back so that you can go to the bank and create an actual business account legitimately to do all your transaction. And then only thing that you guys are going to do there for those of you who are new to this is business only. Don't use it for getting gas, unless it's on a business trip, things of that nature. Make it strictly legitimately business. All right. Don't intermingle it because if you get audited, they're going to intermingle your personal and they're going to intermingle your business. And I guarantee you they're going to find a way to ding you. All right. A lot harder to do it if it's just focused on a business and you keep your business squared away. All right. So that's that. The next thing you're going to look at is called Song Trust. All right. So Song Trust is a really cool platform. As you already see, start your music and publishing journey today. They're going to go ahead and help you earn your royalties on a global status and platform. So they're going to collect across the water and here. So it's kind of creating a safety net for you. And if you're registering everything with BMI slash ASHCAP, and then you're registering everything with Song Trust, between the two, they're going to be able to collect and sync up and get all that money for you as much as possible for you. And that's going to be the way to do it. One thing I'm going to tell you guys about Song Trust also is if you stream music and you stream your videos currently on YouTube, you're getting tons of plays or tons of views, or you're getting likes, things of that nature. You're missing money because Song Trust collects on YouTube royalties, whereas other stuff doesn't. So other platforms don't. So another reason why I just recommend Song Trust again, we are not paid for this advertisement, if you will. We're not advertising them. I have no affiliation to them other than an account with them. So I'm just telling you what we know works and what we use. So Song Trust again is another good company to do. Now, we're kind of coming to the tail end of today's training. And as I'm going through today's training, I really want to make sure that everybody truly understands what we're getting and giving you guys here. We've created your business backend. We've created your business retention system for your contracts. We've created your actual transactional system slash banking process. So you're going to do all your transactions digitally, regardless of where you are, to get everything in one place with Square and or PayPal or whoever it is that you're using. And then what you're going to go ahead and do is that money is going to deposit directly when you cash it out directly to your business account. So until you get your business account, this is a good way to put all your money in one place. And then once you got your business account set up, you just do a massive deposit. Okay. You also get a business card, which is really important because if you're doing transactions or you're traveling, you can now do all of your business transactions on one dedicated card and not have to worry about a bank card and another card. So just kind of be methodical on how you use them. I like to tell everybody I just shred my bank cards and I just use that digital card and it's connected so I can move money back and forth and we're good. So again, you do what works best for you guys. Now that our business is a little bit bigger, we can't do that. It's just too much movement. So we have multiple accounts, but again, and now it becomes a little more tasking when it's time to do taxes because I have to have multiple spreadsheets, printouts. We have to have those audited every month, to make sure that we're not missing or forgetting stuff and everything's being entered. So, just try to keep everything in one place for as long as you can to make life easy for you. And if you're going to have two accounts, try to do all your transactions in Square and then all your deposits from Square to your business account. And then from there is where all the money sits. And create a savings account so that you don't leave money in your main checking account. So if your stuff ever gets hacked, they can't take the money out of the checking account unless they just get access to your whole entire, like log in and can move money around, which you got bigger problems if that's the case, right? We all know that. But in that particular case, it's not a whole lot you can do. You just got compromised. You know what I mean? It happens to the best of us. So you just have to chin up, take that one, go to the bank, and the bank will have to help you navigate the waters through that process. And if that ever happens, if you don't feel too embarrassed, reach out to us. We'd love to do a video on kind of what you learned from the process so that we can share it with the rest of the community, for those who may have that happen in the future to them. So, and or who may be going through it. So let me introduce you guys to one more thing. This is a little trick secret. I was just working with a new production company based out of Florida. We're going to leave them nameless. I don't like to drop names on people, but really cool group. But one of the things they never knew was about Google Voice. Now, I could get into Google and take an hour or two just explaining Google and all the features you're going to get for free. But create a free Google email. That free Google email is going to be what you put on public information, if you will, and then only your business email will be what gets put onto official documents. Bing helps you mitigate the amount of email checks you have to do. So you got one strictly for business and only for business. You got another one that's general public. All right. That general public is also going to be give you a free Google account, which is going to be how you log into this Google Voice system. And when you log into this Google Voice system, you can create your own account or phone number personally or for business. If you do personal, it's free. If you're using it for business, just be honest, do business. If it costs you, excuse me, if it ends up costing you a little bit, it costs you a little bit. I'm not going to tell you guys which way to do or how to go about it. But once you create your account, you're going to get a phone number. If you take your time, and I apologize for yawning, it's been a long, long day. I had to do literally a turn and burn trip from one state through my state through multiple states to get to where I am now to take care of my father for the surgery. But I love you guys, and I appreciate everything that you guys do and your commitment to what we're doing. So I want to make sure that I do my best to get you these videos, even though this one is a little bit late and tart. So you're going to create your business email, and then or your Google email. A lot of times I tell people who do it personal because you're going to have a personal email probably. And then you get a personal phone number and you just use that, for your business. And the cool thing is it's Google, it's digital. So you can take phone calls from your computer. You can set your hours to receive calls and not receive calls. You can set up a business voicemail. You make sure that people are identifying themselves when they call into your agency or your business. So it's just another way to add validity. And if you're using it for personal use, it's free and you're not, getting charged anything. All right. That's going to be really, really cool feature because now you can differentiate, if it's ringing on this number and it's after, let's say, 5 o'clock regular working hours for you, you're not going to answer it. But if it rings this number, then you're going to answer it because this number is your personal phone number. And those are probably people that know you, right? So that's how I worked it too, personal and the business. And everyone in our business has a business direct line along with their personal phone line. And by doing that, I no longer have to pay T-Mobile $25 for a line a month or $54 depending on what carrier you're with, for a phone line dedicated just for business that you're only using for a few hours a day until your business really takes off and all of a sudden you're doing that. So I just saved you guys well over, 200 to $300 right there, just showing you how to get a free number. That's why the power of these calls are and these video trainings are so important outside of all the other stuff I've already talked to you guys about. So that's going to be a really really, really cool feature to go ahead and do. So I'm going to stop my screen share. We've covered quite a bit. As you guys know, I like to try not to overwhelm you guys with a lot of information, but I try to give you good information, as detailed information, so that you guys can get the best of the best of what you deserve. Guys, we put our heart and our soul into our personas, our work, our development, our creations, and you deserve to be compensated at the best rate that you can be compensated at. You deserve to be recognized correctly. You deserve to take the advantage of the taxation system that's prevented, or excuse me, provided to you to use for what you're doing. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of people who share this information, so a lot of us are left trying to figure it out and pick up the pieces. So I don't want you guys to be one of those people. This video will help shortcut a lot of your learning curves, will help you kind of understand some new ways to navigate some things about your business, possibly. And then I'm going to drop one more nugget of like really cool information that I didn't do. a company you're going to want to go ahead and make sure that you set up is called Hurtler. All right. I believe it's, let me make sure I spell it right. I don't want to misspell it. I think it's exactly how it sounds, but I want to make sure before I say it. Yeah, Hurdlr. So a little funny. I knew it was funny. Hurdlr. Okay. I could give you a paid link. Maybe I'll attach it to the bottom of this video in the message feed. That's what I'll do. Because we do get paid for people who set up their accounts with Hurtler. So that, just again is a paid plug, as an affiliate to that link. But the reason I'm going to tell you guys to use Hurtler, all right, is this. Hurdler is going to help you do all of your books. So when you have your accounts, you're going to sync those to Hurdler. You're going to put your car information in if you're using a vehicle to drive to and from, which you should be doing. All right. Your PO box, that's a annual expense, or monthly expense that needs to be documented. All right. The mileage when you go to that PO box to and from back to your residence, it's going to be mileage that counts towards a percentage. They change the number each year, so I'm not going to throw the number out there. But you're going to get so many cents per mile that you drive. Now you can't go and pick. If we're looking at me on this picture, right? Let's see. This is my light right here behind me. This is the closest UPS box, but I'm going to travel way over here to this PO box when I got one that's right here. Don't do that, because if you do that, the IRS is going to catch you, and they're going to be like, "And we're going to take all. Let me help you out here. All this mileage in between, we're going to cut it off, and then you're going to get a ding. And if you get too many dings, they'll cut off all of your deductions, and then you get hit with back taxes. So again, do not cheat your taxes. Just take advantage, man. You know what I'm saying? Just play the game the way the game's meant to be played, bro. And you're gonna be good to go. I promise you. Maybe next month, maybe I'll do the tax series next month. You guys let me know. And maybe I'll dedicate a couple weeks of next month to Taxes 101 to help you guys maximize your deductions so that you can get the most, get the most, forget it. That's what we're going to do. How about that? If y'all like that, hit me with some likes, some love, or whatever. Send me some feedback, some questions, and I'll make sure to include those into the videos for us and try to get the answers for you. If I don't have the answers, I'm not a CPA, so I can't tell you 100%, right? What to do. But federal law for Ohio is the same as federal law for California as it is for Massachusetts. Don't matter. Federal taxes is federal taxes. So we're all playing by the same bucket, all right, and the same rules. So I can only give you what I know. And then I'll kind of, if I can find a publication that'll help you that I'm not familiar with, I can say, hey, here's the publication, read it from front to back, take notes, and implement what you know. If you're not sure and aren't really 100% sure about it, you have to get a CPA or a tax advisor. Just is part of the game. But you get to write that off as an expense. All right. 100%, by the way. It means you get all that money back towards your taxes or your earnings. And then the goal is as you make money to try to close that gap. And if you can get them to be level all year long, then you don't have to pay any taxes for all the money you made. If you go a little bit over, which most people are going to end up having more deductions if they're being aggressive in a smaller company, a company that's not making a lot of money, it's not hard to do to be over in your deductions. Just means you overspent that year, but your goal is to try to close that number as close as you can so that you're not overspending, but you're not paying taxes. So that way, if you make 40, 50,000 a year, it's 40 or 50,000 a year tax free, which is like $75,000 a year for the average person that's paying taxes. Really, really important. Your taxes will save you. They'll make and break you. So yeah, let's do that next month. For April here, we're going to start off with covering taxes 101. Then we're going to do taxes 102. And we'll start off with home and office deductions. Then we'll move to advanced deductions. So I'm going to show you guys how to make sure you're getting all that money for your house and your apartment or whatever it is you do, and show you how to kind of set everything up correctly so that you can make sure you can claim it if you're not claiming it. All right. And then in the second week of April, we're going to do 102. And 102 is going to be advanced deductions like your cars, your subscriptions, things of that nature, and maybe showing you guys how to kind of use Heartler. And then, 3 and 4 week in April, we'll come up with a new topic to cover that a little bit more in detail, depending on the amount of questions and answers that we're trying to do and information we're trying to get back to you guys. Because I'm going to tailor the video to our community so that way everybody's getting the best bang for their buck. All right, even though it's 100% free. So, but I'm gonna treat it like you're paying me. So I'm gonna hook you guys up. All right. Other than that, guys, it's been a long day. I'm not going to stay on here much longer. I wish you guys peace, love, and happiness. I hope that Mad Money March provided you some insight to making some really financially sound decisions and helping you get your business set up professionally. So that way, when you walk into a business room with, Johnny from around the block or a major executive at Universal, they're going to sit down and look at you and say, this guy's about his business or this girl's about her business, and they're legitimately a business, and we're going to treat them as such, and we're going to give them the courtesy as such, because there's certain things you're going to get through that you're just not going to get any other way. And next month, we may even throw in a special video, training video, Q&A on how to do your credit as a business. Now that you've created a business, it's important to also be building credit. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that as a musician. And then you can take that same implementation and principle to anything, whether you're a songwriter, a movie writer, a film producer, a dancer, all right, whatever. You're vixen, all right. You'll be able to use this process to really churn some money and make the best out of it. So again, I hope that these series and these videos are helping you guys out. We're going to be focusing on taxes next month, and then we're going to be focusing on the next piece. So make sure that you sign in, catch up all the 1 through 4 videos here on our Midi Innovation YouTube channel. And then once you got all the videos caught up for the Mad Money March section, we're going to talk about how to advance your earnings through taxation protection. And then I'm going to talk about how to implement some additional features like we just mentioned here in this video for April based on the speed that we can move through the information on taxation. So I guess that's a perfect time considering taxes are due April 15th. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. Boom, 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 pow. I hope this helped you out. Peace.